So you're thinking about buying or selling in Orange Beach, Alabama, Gulf Shores, and the surrounding areas. Well, today I am going to go over a very important market report, especially if you are an investor or own an investment property, meaning a condo or house that allows short-term rentals and is across the street or on the beach in Gulf Shores or Orange Beach, Alabama. I am going to go over some very, very key data for you today, and you are definitely going to want to check this one out. So let's get to it. Hey guys, if this is your first time to the channel, be sure to hit the like button, subscribe button, and ring the little bell so you can be one of the first ones to learn everything there is to know about the current market conditions in Orange Beach, Gulf Shores, and surrounding areas. My name is Aileen Fountain, along with my partner Andy Hollis and our entire team. We do these videos each and every week just to be informative, just to let you know what it's like to actually live here, vacation here, and own property here. So whether it's 9 days or 90 days from when you're thinking about making a move, give us a call, shoot us a text, email us, set up a Zoom. We'd love to meet with you face to face. We get calls, texts, and emails from people just like you every single day, and we absolutely love it. So as I mentioned, I've got a very important market update for you guys. Really important to understand here that, in order to really take a look at our market, there's some key data points that a lot of real estate agents don't account for, don't look at, and aren't able to articulate that to you as a buyer or seller. And it's really important that you understand these market conditions, because what I'm about to go over with you really is going to, without a doubt, tell you, is this a seller's market? Is it a balanced market? Or is it a buyer's market? And so it doesn't matter if you're buying or selling, you need to know that data so that you can A, price it appropriately if you're a seller, or B, know what your options are as a buyer. As I get into this, I'm gonna kind of explain all this to you right now though, because our market is so different from the typical market. So right now I am only going to be looking at condos and residential houses that are close proximity to the beach or on the beach that allow short-term rentals. And it's really important to break these markets down, because that market is totally different than the residential markets in Gulf Shores and Orange Beach that people are moving to live in full time, or to have a true second home that they're going to come in and occupy half the year. So two totally different markets. We have navigating our market is a really challenging thing because of the differences of it. Obviously, someone who is looking at it from an investment standpoint is interested in very different things than somebody who's looking here to move here and live our coastal lifestyle year round. So in this particular video, I am just breaking down the investment side of our market. So I want to be very clear with that as you're looking at the data that I'm going to talk to you about. If you're planning to move here, call us, because it's completely different from what we're about to talk about. So one thing that is not being talked about enough is the absorption rate and the months of inventory. Those calculations will determine the health of a market. Is it a buyer's market? Is it a seller's market? Or is it a balanced market? Those percentages and those numbers really are very telling about where a market sits. And so I'm going to talk to you about the months of inventory. I've actually talked 6 clients out of listing this year. One of them was a newer client who just started using me, and he was kind of a little taken back. And of course, I went over all the data supporting why I felt this way. And, hey, if you really need to sell, then let's strategically discuss how we're going to get your property sold. But if you don't really need to sell, really want you to reconsider the timing right now. And, after long discussion of, what they were trying to accomplish, where the market was at, all the data points that I went over, we're obviously just going to continue to watch. But he was very appreciative. He said, I've never had an agent tell me all of this before and go over all these things. And I appreciate your honesty. He was just very surprised. I mean, obviously we don't get paid unless we close deals, but for me and for our team, it is just more important to make sure that we take care of the client, that we really explain to them, what, their best options are, because, at the end of the day, we care way more about the relationship than the transaction. And so that's why. And I mean, several of my longer term clients that have been with me for many years just said, Aileen, that's why we continue to use you, because we know you're going to be honest with us. We know you're going to tell us, the truth, and you're going to be looking out for our best interests. So with that being said, I want to segue into where we are in the market. So we are almost halfway through the year, and it's been a very interesting year. As far as investment sides go, that part of the market has really struggled and continues to struggle. And, sellers, listen up if you're watching this video. Pricing is key. And, even if you are pricing based on comps, there's some other data points that you've really got to be taking a look at in order to realize why A, your property may have to go below those comps, and B, why your property may just be sitting on the market. And that is what we're going to talk about with months of inventory. So if we take, the number of condos that are currently available, not pending or under contract, currently available, active on the market, Gulf Shores and Orange Beach, and I am talking, on the beach or across the street from the beach, would qualify for short-term rentals. We have 1,002 active condos on the market. Now, that does not include condos that are interior that perhaps somebody would live in full-time that would have short-term rental restrictions. If we include those, the number jumps up from there. 1,002, okay? Now, in order to figure out the months of inventory, we're going to take the average number of closings per month in this category, in this condo category. And, the way I came up with that was, I took an average of what has happened from January through the end of May, because we're in June now, and came up with an average of 58 per month is how many you can expect to close in a month. So that leads us to a whopping 17 months of inventory. That's right. You heard it. 17 months of inventory. So that means if you list your condo right now on the market, it is going to take 17 months to sell. And that is if no new properties come on the market, which surely they will. That is the current data right now, 17 months. So that is an obvious indicator that it is a huge buyer's market. And to kind of explain that, 0 to 4 months would indicate a seller's market. 5 to 6 months would indicate a balanced market, and 7+ months indicates a buyer's market. So 17 months is a screaming buyer's market. Okay, buyers, listen up. If you are interested in buying right now, we'll help you find the unicorn. We will help you find the deal. We will help you find the seller that actually needs to sell versus just, hey, I'm going to put my property on the market and see what happens. Bad idea. Bad idea. Honestly, if we took all the properties off the market that sellers didn't really actually need to sell, we could probably fix our inventory issue pretty quick, which is another reason why I have told sellers not to list right now, not to try and sell unless they actually had to, because you are going to have to get so aggressive on price. Your competition is, you're up against 1,002 other condos. Granted, all different price categories, doesn't matter. Buyers get very overwhelmed with that. So now let's talk about single family houses. And really in the last couple years, because of rising insurance costs, because of other rising condo fees, the whole nine, rental numbers coming down, the condo market has really struggled to make the math the last couple years. So actually, the residential side has had better returns, especially on the new construction cottages, because they're gold fortified. So they had a little bit better insurance rates, and then they had a little bit lower expenses overall, and still had some good rental numbers to go along with it. So that was kind of where the better play was made the last few years. But let's look at that data too, okay? So on the residential house side, again, we are only talking about beachfront across the street from the beach. It is going, now it is spanning, we're spanning from the end of Fort Morgan all the way to the Florida line. So Orange Beach, Gulf Shores, West Beach, and Fort Morgan is all in the area that I'm talking about. So let's go to residential houses that you could short-term rent, either beachfront or walking distance to the beach. And you are talking about, there's 290 of those listed right now. So if we do same thing, if I take the number of closings the last 5 months and get the average number of homes that are selling per month, I get 22. So 22 is still a 13-month inventory. So if you want to list your beach house or your rental beach cottage, you could expect it to take 13 months to sell. So again, not good if you're a seller. If you need to go into it with correct expectations, right pricing, and then the buyers are still going to come in understanding that it's a buyer's market. So if you really aren't out there to play ball, it's best just don't list it, continue to rent it, and let's see what interest rates do, and let's see what this market does down the road. So, buyers, if you're watching and you're listening, there's some deals to be had. In fact, all the investment buyers that we helped last year, we got really good deals for them, and we made the numbers work. So the rentals and the expenses, it all worked so that the math for those buyers to get in those properties and be able to break even or make a little bit of money depending on how much money they were putting down. So that's always the goal, right? Like, you don't want to run in the red on your investment property. So even if most of our buyers that come down here, they are going to use the property a couple times a year. So there is another factor involved, that they're going to get the vacation out of it. They're going to get that emotional attachment to it because they're going to use it to vacation with their family and make memories over years. And they're going to hold it, 5, 10 years, however long, 15 years. And then the rentals are going to pay for it. So they are going to have a great investment long term. And so they're okay if they come in and put 20 or 25% down. They're okay breaking even, or even losing just a little bit of money because of that factor. But what they don't want and can't want and aren't going to do is overpay for a property and it lose significant amount of money year in, year out. That's not going to happen. Buyers are not going to do that. We do not live in the post-COVID world anymore in terms of the run-up of real estate, which we all saw. 2021 and 2022 does not exist anymore in real estate, and sellers need to understand that shift. They need to understand that change. Buyers can't get interest rates that 2021 and 2022 offered, so sellers should not be expecting buyers to come in and overpay for their property. Hope this video has been informative to explain to you whether you are looking to buy or sell in our market. A lot of data points that I look at when I'm evaluating the price of a property as far as sellers go. I mean, when I'm comping out your property to tell you what I think it's worth, I am looking at multiple data points. It's not just one. I'll spend hours comping a property out because the price is so important, both for the buyer and seller. So I spend a lot of time evaluating where that number should be. And, and it's a pretty in-depth thing that I do when I'm going through and really looking at the property. And absorption rate, months of inventory, it's a factor. It's one factor. It's not the factor. Obviously, comparable properties is a huge part of it. Active competition is a huge part of it. How long are the properties taking to sell? The ones that are under contract or pending, how do they shake out to compare to your property? So a ton of different things that I look at. And then even after that, I go to a wider scale and start looking out at either comparable neighborhoods or comparable buildings to get even more data. So a lot of things that I take into consideration. So I hope you found this video informative And remember, if this is your first time to the channel, be sure to hit the like button, subscribe button, and ring the little bell so you can be the first person to learn everything there is to know about the market conditions, what it's like to actually live here and own property here, the beach life, and we hope to see you around town.
I get flip-flops and your shades that hit the sand. Where the Gulf breeze blows, it's a wonderland. Orange Beach living, oh it feels so right. From sunrise